Hello, beautiful humans, and welcome to Perspectives by Mary, a space for the stories we're all still learning how to tell. The kind that live in our bodies long before they actually make it to our mouths. Some of these stories are where you live, some you break, heal, and begin again. My name is Mary. I'm an author, speaker, and someone who's had to come to herself again and again through grief, healing, unexpected plot twists, and unfortunately, breast cancer. This first episode is personal and sacred even. It's inspired by a book I wrote called Flowers While Here. On the cover is a quiet blue bloom, the kind that's weathered a few storms but has dared to open anyway. This book holds reflections from a time when my life turned upside down. Loss, grief, cancer, love, but more than that, it's also about the people who've helped me hold the pieces. I wrote about 7 phases of healing, like wilt, root, stem, and bloom. Not as a checklist for getting better, but as a reminder that healing grows slowly, sometimes in silence, and sometimes, yes, in chaos. Really, they're just metaphors for what it means to tend to the garden that is you. So this podcast is a continuation of said invitation to look inward, to honor where you are, and maybe find the courage to bloom anyway. You'll hear echoes of those petals today, but not in a neat order, because guess what? Life isn't that tidy. Before I get into the wilt and before I tell you a little bit of what it's like to have the life pulled from underneath your feet at the tender age of 34, let's start somewhere a little softer. I want to start with the people. The 2 guests who'll be joining me today, Quintin and Randa, helped me come back to myself in ways they probably don't even realize. One of them was my carer when I couldn't do it alone, and the other helped me reclaim my literal voice when the cancer treatment tried to take it. So let's rewind to before the diagnosis and before the silence, to when we all first met. Quintin.
Hi.
Randa.
Hello.
Hello, friends. Thanks for being here.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.
Wouldn't-
for having us.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
So, look, let's give the children a bit of a history lesson, shall we? I guess
Not too far back though, because we're not that old, please.
we met when we were 10. So, you know, that's what we tell people.
Let's roll with it.
The math might not math, but, you know. Yes, so Quintin by day,
Yeah.
Quincy by night.
Yes.
You know, you initially signed on the contract KPI stipulated friend to become BFF,
Yes.
which morphed into husband.
Yeah. Yes.
And yes, life sort of turned made a massive variation in the contract to
That's not what I signed for.
no. But you became personal chef.
Unappreciated.
Unappreciated personal chef, carer, motivator,
Dog walker.
all the things, yes. And Randa, oh my goodness, we met 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think I remember seeing you at one of your gigs, and you hadn't started performing yet, I think. And, you know, you were kind of like this tiny little human amongst all these men and these, you know, instruments and things like that. And I thought, oh, wow, that's going to kind of envelop it, because you were on this massive stage and you had these go-go groups and you looked really, you know, cute and all, was it 70s or
60s,
70s? And I was just like, oh, sheesh, you know, how's she going to fill that whole space up? And then you opened your mouth and I was like, oh, wow. Okay, then. Yeah, you know, the package might be tiny, but
Rocket.
yeah,
concentrated.
Concentrated. Awesome. Yes. So yeah, and I guess ever since, you know, I think we were kind of friends, acquaintances. I'd see you here and there, but yeah, obviously in the last year and a half, 2 years, we've gotten a lot closer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm curious what, I've said how I kind of met you guys and my kind of collection of memory. But what I remember and my perspective is not always necessarily the most accurate. But yeah, what, time and period do you kind of remember meeting me in and your impressions of me?
Do you want to go
Who's
first?
going? Okay, I'll go. Oh, no, you go.
I'll go first. Okay,
Yeah.
I've got a very clear memory of meeting you. The year was 2008. So when I first got to Australia, and it was in Fremantle, I was going to this English school because I had to get an English diploma before being admitted to university, not being, a born English speaker. And it was an English school called Phoenix Academy, just adjacent to the Orient Bar, which is closing, by the way.
I saw that.
Yeah, crazy. But anyway, so I was going to buy some smokes back when a pack was $10. People, yes, it happened. But you were in line just before me, and I remember you having a neck piercing, and I thought, damn, this bitch looks cool. I want to be her friend. And I didn't know how to say hi because you just don't. That's not something you do. I think we interacted briefly, and then we both went our separate ways. And then life has a way. So
It do have
maybe
a way.
like a couple of months later, we had a friend in common, her who shall not be named, and we knew people in common, and they organized a night out, and that's when we were reunited. And then the rest is history. We've been friends ever since.
Really?
Yeah.
Literally.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, let's be honest on how long it's been. It's been over a decade. It's gonna be 2 decades in.
Oh, so I don't even want to think about it. I feel like once you've done a
2028.
decade, it's like we stop counting.
In 3 years, it'll be 20 years, Mary.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
But hey, black don't crack.
I know that's right. And when it does, Mac has my back and my front.
Exactly.
So we're good. We're good for as long as we can be. And Randa, how about you?
I remember meeting you at a gig, and it was when Funk Club was on.
Yes, that's right.
And I remember seeing you dancing and just spotting you in the crowd. You stood out, and I was like, who is that cool girl? I really like her already. And, you were moving, and, the way you were moving, like your dance moves, I was like, yeah, that's my kind of, moves. And then we sort of chatted all together with the band, and it was just a really nice little chat, nice flow with everyone, and we were all laughing together, and then I'd see you out all the time from then on. But you never told me back then that you could sing, and, once we finally got together with some vocal tuition stuff, it was amazing to hear you.
Thank you.
I think you've been like quietly keeping this treasure of yours.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, the common denominator between all of us is the fact, that we are musical inclined. And I guess on top of that, we have that extra thread of world music, right? Because we all can sing in languages other than English. So, one of the first times Quentin or I ever performed on a public stage was at Mojo's together.
That's right.
Yeah. So supporting another world music artist that was in town. So, I think, it's just funny how creatives find a way to just kind of go,
Yes.
you're my people, and so
we resonate together.
yeah, definitely. And I feel like that's pretty much been like the underlining thing that, kind of gets you through anything in life, music, that's for sure.
Yeah, the universal language.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yes.
Do you remember us taking the bus? Because we didn't have a car back then. Taking the bus from Murdoch University all the way to where you were living in. No, we met in Freo, and then we took the bus all the way there.
Yeah.
Got there to the rehearsal to be told we don't have time for your song after spending like an hour on the public transport system to get there. We're so mad. It was like, can you believe it? The audacity. But it was a great night.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Definitely.
And look, it was the beginning of something for me anyway, because if it wasn't for that night, I would have never pursued a music career. And my first time on stage in a proper setting in Australia was with you. So there you go.
Yes. Aw.
Yeah.
And who knew you were going to become Quincy, go on to, perform on stages here and, Reunion Ireland and France, be
And
on
Sydney.
The
The
Voice,
Voice.
be on The Voice. And Randa, I think, did I see the other day? What, you've clocked 250,000 listens
260K, bitch.
on Spotify?
That's huge.
Under,
Congrats.
yes.
Yeah.
Under, is it Randa and the Soul Kingdoms, right?
Yeah, rather than the Soul Kingdom.
Nice.
But what people don't know is I did this other song with a Belgian producer, Baker Matt, and that one's clocked 3 million.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Damn.
I know.
You're low-key female.
You're so underrated.
Love it. But I think, again, it's the humility, right? Because you're not, you don't, both of you aren't into, I mean, it'd be great. Obviously, you could perform on stages wherever, but you do it for the genuine love of it. And that kind of comes across.
Yeah.
So, yes, I love that.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm doing it for the clout.
Well, speaking of Klaus, life was going into a certain direction. You, speaking of music, you were going to sort of try and pursue further international stages in New York. You are, the bands have been disbanded. You are putting in the applications for Big Fours in the US.
Oh, hell no.
And, places.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, I put a spanner in those works and I go, hey, friend, so something's kind of happened, which I guess was a shock for all of us. So the first chapter that I write about in the book is called The Wilt. And that's kind of a metaphorical representation of the shedding and the falling apart. Because obviously, I too, I was working this grade 5 job. I was, saving up for my trips and my holidays and working on a house deposit. And the trajectory was so, aligned and I was going to tick off the boxes. And, stepping into a doctor's office, basically witnessing a car crash in slow motion and being told you've got stage 3 breast cancer at 34 is not a part of the storyline.
I remember us being, it was during Fringe, remember? We went to have dim sum and then we were like, do you feel like day drinking? And you were like, yeah, sure. And we went to that area at the cultural center, like near the library where they had like this little carousel put together. We had a drink there and that's when you first said, look, I got a lump and I'm just going to check it out. It's probably nothing, but I just got to get it checked out. And from there, that's when it all went downhill pretty quick because the doctor was like, okay, no, we need a biopsy like yesterday. And I remember you starting to get worried and saying things in the lines of, oh, look, it doesn't sound good. And I'm like, no, you'll be fine, don't worry. And then we got the diagnosis and he was like, fuck. So for me, it was really important to be there. You're my best friend. So it was really important for me to be there for you. But I lost my best friend to cancer when we were kids.
Yeah.
So we were 14 years old in Reunion Island, and he got diagnosed with like a really aggressive type of brain cancer. And he passed away 3 months after the diagnosis. And back in the days, well, we were kids, we didn't know what to do. And I always told myself, if it ever happens again, I'll be there. Well, life has a funny way, right? So it was really important for me to be there for you. So my plans, whatever, like New York is not going anywhere. And look, with everything that unfolded now, there's a silver lining in everything, Mary, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I didn't go in the end. And look, New York will be there.
That's it.
When I decide to make the move. But I needed a change in my life. I was at a point in my life where I felt stuck and I needed a big, drastic change. And it came in the most unexpected way because then you moved in. And I took that role of carer. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I remember that first doctor appointment.
Yeah, right. Because you were at the, I think it's interesting because I sort of dissociated there for a little while because
That's why you got that caring person. With
yeah,
you.
yeah. Because I'd kind of really assumed this would definitely be blocked ducts or something or other, and for them to sort of say, look, it's this, and it's aggressive and it's serious, and you get bombarded with all this information at once, and it's kind of like, okay. And for them, it's just another day in the office. They just kind of go, yep, tick. So you were there that first proper day when I had to go in for all these tests.
Yeah.
So I had everything in one day, from like a mammogram to the ultrasound to a PET scan to
So the PET scan, for anybody watching who doesn't know what it's about, you don't bring your dog and they x-ray it. That's not it. They inject you with some radioactive
dye,
liquid dye that a specific type of ray picks up in your body to create a soft tissue imaging of your body, and they can see where the cancer is.
Yeah. And that was basically so they could, because of the staging, stage 3, grade 3, they just needed to make sure it hadn't gone into the bones.
Yeah.
Basically. So
Because it was really late stage. So again, for those of you who probably are not familiar with how cancer is graded. So you've got 4 stages, well, 5 if you count 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The stage 3 is how progressed the cancer is. And stage 4 is incurable. So you got caught at the very limit because the cancer has started to move. They call it metastasis. So it had left your breath into your lymph nodes. And if you would have left it another 6 months, that would have been really, really hard to come back from that.
Yeah. And I guess, that, God, there were so many appointments in that first couple of weeks. But, we kind of were in the oncology office getting the results back from all the scans and everything.
Your grade was good in a way. Even though it was really aggressive, it was really curable. But the staging was not a good news. But I remember us being in that doctor's office when he delivered the blow. And Ashina was there as well. And we were just like, from the moment he reviewed your case until he told us, it was probably maybe 5 minutes? It felt like 5 hours.
Yeah. But I think, the massive exhale was him sort of starting off with, it's not in the bones. So it was kind of like, okay, so it hasn't spread to that. Yeah. So that was the first exhale. Yeah. And then I think the second exhale is, I'm intently listening to this male oncologist tell me stuff about how within a week, I'm basically going to have to go into clinical menopause, a process that normally takes 7 to 8, 9 years for most women. I'm going to have to medically inject myself and then my ovaries are going to turn off. And that's going to be the case for the next year and a half or so. And that with the chemo I'm going to have, I'm probably going to have to lose my hair. And all I hear in the background is,
What?
and I'm like, Quentin, seriously?
Thanks a lot.
And then the oncologist's look on his face, he's like, is he for real? And I'm like, he's like, do you want to tell him or should I? And I'm like, I'm just like, the hair loss is not going to be much of an issue for me. I never have my natural hair out anyway. So we good. And so then we have to stop the appointment and educate the oncologist about weaves, wigs, and how most African women, that's just how we are, sort of thing. And he was like, fascinating. So I'm sure he did. And I think that was probably one out of the first times he was ever like, well, it's never happened before.
Look, we just were expecting not to be given the worst news, and then once we didn't, it was like, we can finally laugh about it,
Which is our main, I think, and that's the thing, is through this whole experience, that's been the main thing, is trying to find humor in it, And some people get it, other people are still a bit like, oh, that's really weird, can I laugh? And it's just like, you have to, otherwise
You cry.
Oh, okay, we have to talk about 2 things. Okay, so you're saying that about the hair loss. We laughed about it until the moment I had to shave your head, and then that was extremely confronting.
Yeah,
Because that's when, look, I've seen you sick. Like, I've seen you undergoing chemo treatment, and I saw you at your worst. But having to do away with your hair is when it really hit me that, fuck, my best friend has cancer. Shit. And I don't know if you've noticed a turning point after that. I went in hypercare.
Yep. I did.
To the point of alienating her. But
no, well, first, he, I think, you were the most prepared person ever for that moment, because it's as if he'd been counting down for me to lose my hair, because he was like, right, I just feel like you need to do a photo shoot. I got you these gold hoop earrings. I think these are he's like, we could totally walk under these. We could do that. And I was like,
priorities.
I'm just trying to make it to the toilet and back. Let's just one step at a time. He was like, girl, and you've got a beautiful shaped head. We can do this. I was like, eventually, yes. But right now, let me just,
let me survive.
Yes. And I think, it was, I noticed it, and I think I was in and out a lot of the time, right? Because I was incredibly drugged a lot of the times. I was in a lot of pain. I was incredibly weak. And obviously, it's frustrating when an oncologist has read from a book like, oh yeah, these are the things that help during treatment, and though he feels out of his element and out of control. So his way to control that is to go into hyper, like, hey, how you feeling? Let's go for a walk. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I'm like, a walk? I can barely blink my eyes. Yeah. He'd be like, hey, girl. you look good. I'm like,
come on, let's go for a walk.
I'm like, if you don't shut this damn door. Like, all right, well, have you eaten? I mean, it's like you're not even trying. Like, come on, you haven't even eaten. And
I was so mad because I was cooking elaborate meals for Mary, but chemo kills your taste buds. So everything was tasting like fucking lead to her. And I'm like, you haven't eaten anything. What am I cooking for? And she's like, Quentin, you don't get it. I was so offended.
Oh God, yeah. And I guess I'd run into here and there sort of thing during treatment, and I kind of was just trying to get by, and I hadn't really told many people. Yeah. So and I guess strategically it was really great having the wigs that I did have, because no one kind of really knew unless I didn't have them on. So I think when I'd run into you at I think you were actually performing at Maylands one time, Lyrics Lane, and then you and James were kind of there, and it kind of, it hadn't really hit me how much of I feel like sunlight you are in human form, because every time I sort of would see you after that, I would be like, it's just nice, because I was at that stage, where you've had to really lament on a lot, with life, and having to think about, well, what happened? I've had to make a will at freaking 35, and because I'd had my birthday by then, and I'm having to kind of go, look at some of the people and friendships in my life that had stuck, and some that kind of hadn't, and the people that you thought were going to be there and then aren't, and then the influx of people that kind of come in, and you're like, oh wow, I did not think that, but I was sort of like, oh, Branda's like, I've never kind of really, I feel good when I see her and I'm around her, sort of thing. And I guess, I sort of obviously had the conversation with you once I'd gotten to a certain point after treatment. Where I could kind of talk about it. And then it was interesting because having that deep, authentic conversation with you, only to find out, your mum had also passed away from a form of cancer.
Oh God.
Yeah.
When I was 33.
Shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear. I didn't know that, Randall.
Yeah. And my dad passed from cancer as well when I was 15. So I've lost, So I'm kind of like, this is a bit of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, right?
So.
And I think that's the thing. It's like you just don't know until you start kind of opening up a bit and having those conversations with people. Because the funny thing is, obviously cancer takes away your energy, your taste buds, your hair, everything else. But I was trying to get back into my love for music again and really struggling because I'd try to hit a note and, I sound like a boy going through puberty because, because obviously the vocal cords have also been damaged by the chemo. So I guess we sort of started hanging out initially because I just needed some assistance from a vocal coach or a vocal teacher to help me, rework or get some techniques with using my voice again. Or at least that's what I kind of thought. I thought I was just coming to you for specific lessons, and then all of a sudden this kind of friendship and, developed.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a physical, literal voice, but then, also my voice in other kind of ways where you then came, I think you came to my presentation when I was doing my resilience speaker training and graduation.
And cried. I came there to cry.
I didn't mean to, but yes. But I think, obviously it is hard to find people that can appreciate the fact that, like life, it's such a multi-layered and multifaceted thing, and there's so much depth to it, and it's hard to stay surface level, once you've literally been met by your own mortality.
Exactly.
Which unfortunately I started to notice after the fact that everyone just wants to sit and talk about the weather or, all these basic things. And it's just like,
nobody got time for that.
No, and so when I find people that are in that depth, I'm like, yes, substance,
Yeah.
And for you to kind of come and be like, look, love the story, amazing, but can you try it with your projection? You know what I mean? And because again, it's a confidence thing where I still kind of didn't trust that voice, but I don't think you actually realize, in the essence of giving you flowers, that, that's something I actually took away and, and here we are, using my voice.
Amazing.
But, but, so I needed you to know that because,
it's nice to find out now.
And she got it on camera.
Well, yeah.
Well, and that's so precious to know that. And it's so, after losing both my parents to cancer, I learned at a very young age that life is so precious and you've got to support people in all shapes and forms whenever you can, And, I just want to be, most of the time, I'm like, how can I be your cheerleader?
Yeah.
How can I be your cheerleader?
Yeah, actually, No, you do say that a lot. That's my favorite thing about you.
Thank you. Because I just see that life's too short for negativity, for any, all the other stuff. There's enough as it is. And if we can just bring some positive energy into whatever conversations that we're having, with whatever connections we're having, find a different perspective to put into that, then there's a chance for some breakthrough to happen, or then there's a chance where we're not imprisoned, and there's a chance that we're both, bounce off that energy as well, and that we can find some inspiration from that rather than getting caught in a loop of just whatever, more negative stuff, all the things that we can always complain about.
Oh, yeah, I know, that's right.
There's enough.
Yes, and I mean... Yeah, speaking of, the world being how it is and, there being a plethora of things that are negative, etc., and how life is definitely too short, I definitely kind of made a conscious decision when I kind of got the remission stamp card to, kind of do a bit of a celebration of life tour. I'm choosing to call it because just traveling is too basic. No, we don't just travel. We do a celebration of life tour.
Okay, great.
I'll buy that.
Yeah.
Where can we get tickets?
Yes. Well, you're coming.
Well, I kind of forced you to come.
No, definitely not forced. Not forced.
Guilt tripped to buying tickets to Paris.
Twisted my arm. I mean, look, again, but I've done a lot of travel. Okay, Randa, we're gonna play a game, or we're gonna do pretend, where you can pretend to be my oncologist on the day where she was telling me what she told me. And for context, whilst I was on the treatment I was on, I wasn't allowed to leave the country. The treatment plan involved chemotherapy, 3 major surgeries at once, radiation, and then more chemo. So she said, you are not allowed to leave the country because unless you have a spare $10,000 for a medical plane to pick you up in case something happens, do you have spare $10,000? I was like, you need to put it like that.
Why are you being sassy?
Sheesh. Damn. I was like, fine, I'll just postpone. Because I was like, oh, well, my friend said there's a special for Vietnam. No, not going to Vietnam. So I couldn't leave the country. And
Well, I
obviously,
didn't go without you, if it makes it better.
no. But he went to New York for 6 weeks, though. But,
That's not the point, Mary. And I had to have some New York in because I literally didn't move there to take care of you.
Fair.
It was research. It was research for later.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Due diligence.
I had a great time. But anyway.
But obviously, I mean, you see people living their lives and, once the shock of the diagnosis and stuff wears off, people kind of get on with their lives and what have you, and they check in periodically. But the ones that aren't super close to you forget that, you have every week you have to go into the hospital for an appointment or the blood tests or the this or the that, and that becomes your norm. And then they kind of get on with their normal lives.
Do you feel, Mary, though, that the cancer, again, another silver lining for you was realizing who you could actually, count on and who were the true people that you wanted in your life as opposed to just people just there for a short ride? Because look, you have a lot of light to give, and out of my entire social group, you're the yin to my yang. Yeah. I used to be a lot more bubbly and happy and social when I was younger, and I've turned into this grumpy old gay man. But it's true. Cause I don't have time for people. People annoy the fuck out of me. But you do find the best in people, and it's a quality that I wish. I still had some of left.
That hadn't been
Oh my God.
by life. No, I mean, I actually have a chapter in the book, and the petal for this is called Thorns, where I guess that is one of the clarifications that cancer did give me was I needed pointier thorns and boundaries, and having boundaries is nothing bad. It just means that not everyone has access to your energy, and it's earned and not just plainly given.
Yeah.
And once people show you that they're no longer, have the capacity to hold that space for you in the same way that you would them, you kind of go, okay, well, thank you. I love you, but from over here. But, so it does. It helps clarify. And it's one of the saddest things because a lot kind of falls away in that moment because people that you thought were one way, and it's a lot of the time it's got nothing to really do with you. It's just they being met with your own mortality, even if it's with someone else. Some people just can't handle that and they kind of shut off or they kind of don't know how to deal with it. And they're just on their own journey. And, that's the thing with cancer now. You just stop giving two shits because you're like, bro, I've just, literally won the battle of my life. Yeah, I don't have time for your, you energy. Go to therapy and come back. Let's circle back once you've been to therapy. But, so I guess that's definitely the case.
You're saying this though, but and again, this is where I respect your character. You're very slow to cut someone out and you give them chances after chances because again, you see the best in people.
But once I'm done.
Once you're done, you're done.
I am done.
No
Done.
Yeah, once you're done, you're done.
We burn the bridge. We hold a cremation ceremony.
Oh, honey, that bridge wasn't burned. It was nuked. Nuked, vaporized.
Incinerated.
Atomized.
But Okay, Randa, you pretend to be my oncologist. Okay. So you just say, Mary, the bloods are clear. I'm happy with where you're at, and you're now officially allowed to leave the country. And you'll see what I did.
Okay, Mary, I'm happy with where you're at. The bloods are clear. And
She didn't even finish the sentence. She ran out.
I was like, see ya, bye.
Bye, bitch.
I'm going. Taking the flight. Where am I going to go?
Well, Paris.
Yes, that's coming up.
Yes.
I've done. What have I done this year? I've done
in
Indonesia, Cairns, Southeast Asia.
Back to Indonesia because you could.
Yes, back to Indonesia.
And then came back. She went for a week to Bali, and then she comes back and she's like, "I've got the post-holiday blues," and I'm like, "Girl, read the room."
I know. Malta, Italy.
Malta, that's right.
Amalfi Coast.
Amalfi Coast, heavenly. And yeah, so now, yes, for a very special reason, obviously the number one reason, it's your birthday.
I'm turning 25. 25.
Delusion.
Denial is a river in Egypt. Actually, the longest river in the world. But, so...
so birthday. But the insane way that the universe works.
The universe works in mysterious ways.
The most mysterious, because 27th of September to the day,
is my birthday.
365 days before that, on your birthday, this time last year, was my last day of having my last chemo treatment after 18 months.
Wow.
Was the last day.
27th of September is my mum's birthday.
Oh my God! Really?
Oh my goodness.
Well,
See what's happening.
Well, I think we're finding coincidences to be patterned, but it's fun. But the thing is, I feel like, on that day, there was a lot of love in that room.
I was only allowed to bring 2 people into the chemo
She brought
ward.
20.
So?
No, there was a lot of love that day. And I feel like the nurses were kind of sad to see you go.
Yeah. We brought the vibes into that chemo ward.
We need to tell, okay. So
The
Mary
story.
was getting heavy chemo every couple of weeks for they had to change the frequency after a while because it was literally killing you. But it was intense and frequent because she's young and her body could take it. So the younger you are, the more aggressive they go with it. So we were there every couple of weeks.
Jeez.
And, it takes a while. So you're sitting there for 2 hours getting injected poison. You need distraction. And you see everyone around you getting the same thing. And some people are at different, step of their journey and you can tell they're dying. So you need someone to be there with you. Anyway, so we're playing Uno. And,
As you do.
and
Supposed to be playing Uno is what we're supposed to be playing.
we're playing Uno. And Mary is losing hard. And eventually...
It's not like chemo brain's a thing, at all.
You're just having chemo while
That's all.
this is
Look,
happening.
I concur. Chemo plays with your brain and decreases your short-term and long-term memory. I'll give you that. But the funny thing is Mary is losing. And she's like, guys, can't you let me win? I've got cancer.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you're not terminal, so no. And everyone in the cancer ward was like, what the fuck? And the nurses were like, whoop. So look, at the end, and we laughed really loudly after that.
Yeah.
That's
And
brilliant.
if there's one thing that I'm taking away from all of this is that I hope your journey was made a little bit easier for us laughing through it.
Yeah, laughter.
Definitely. I think I never realized, how much joy we sort of injected or chose to inject into spaces, because that's kind of my first thing when I kind of diagnosed. I was like, all right, I've got a crossroads here. I can kind of go into and not at all bypassing. I can go into the why me, this isn't fair, etc., and allow people to sort of feel sorry for me and stuff like that. But the rule was like, no, you don't treat me any different. Like, you show up, we do stuff, we make memories, we keep it joyful, etc. If you need to be sad or whatever it is, I get it, but go do it over
outside.
there.
Yeah.
Do it over there. I'm focused.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Because I had a friggin' battle of my life to win. So,
Which you did.
Which you did.
and I'd like to say it was for the highest reasons or whatever it is. There were a multitude of reasons. Obviously, I'm a mum, and I think one of the most pertinent things was hearing my daughter say, like, you can't leave me as an orphan, that's just, it's to this day, so any time, there were times there where I was like, I don't know about this. I'm just going to call them and say, I'm done. Like, I can't continue treatment. I don't think, but you kind of go, okay,
Not just for
keep
yourself.
going. Yeah. But also spite. Spite.
I love it.
Yeah, that's right. Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. Well, no, when they go low, we go to hell.
That's right. Yeah, definitely. And also, A cockroach. I am a cockroach. That's my spirit animal. I plan on outliving everybody.
A very glamorous one, if I may add.
Yes. So,
Your skin is glowing today, by the way.
thanks, friend. It's Fenty.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's a
right.
little bit of Riri dust, you know. Yeah. Because this winter's been.
Can I just say about, you being a mom, I feel like you've done a very conscious choice to keep her away from seeing you at your worst, to protect her from having to face your mortality. In hindsight, I wish she would have seen you at your worst, because she would have understood how important, and how privileged she is to have an incredible mom in her life, and it shouldn't be taken for granted. But that's probably to be blamed on the youth. And as she ages, she'll understand what you've gone through.
Yeah. I think, it's kind of this innate thing, as parents, where you just want to protect your kids at all cost. And even though, sometimes I do see, my parents could have done a little bit more of that. But, old school ethnic parents are like, nope. You need to struggle. You need to. You're like, I'm breaking well. I'm drowning. Swim. I don't know how. Learn. You're like, okay. So there's two ways to go about it, and trying to find that middle happy medium is it's a hard thing. But look, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to France.
Well, there is a story.
My cancerversary trip, your birthday. And
25. But there is a story to tell. So Mary has traveled a lot in her time. Yes. I am from Reunion Island originally. And we have a little bit of rivalry with the sister island, which is Mauritius. And we had this friend from Mauritius who got married there, and Mary went, and she never came to Reunion Island. The nerve, a wedding that I was not invited to. But it's okay, because I can smell a rat. Years before the rat behavior materializes. So at the end of the day, look, you had a good time, that's fine, fair. And then when it all hit the fan, I was like, should have come to Reunion Island instead. But we're going to France because I'm French, and I really want to share that bit of my culture with you.
Yeah.
And girl, Paris.
Enough said.
Okay.
I'm excited. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to, again, more than anything now, there was all these boxes I was trying to tick. There was all these things I was chasing. All of that kind of really falls away because you're going, like, I just want to friggin' live the best life I can while I'm still here, right? And, you can aim to get this, that, and the other, but you don't take it with you, though, you know? And I think that was the most pertinent thing, where I'm filling out this will thing that you don't think about filling out a will, in your 30s. You're like, and think about all these things that it's like, I'm going to have to give this, obviously my daughter gets everything, but it's like, is this what my life has really come down to? Like, the most important thing should be all the freaking memories, that I've kind of made. And that's just what I've chosen to just do now, is I just say yes. Is it the most fiscal responsible thing?
Yeah. Well, look.
But
if anything that your cancer taught me is saying yes. The reason why I went on The Voice is because of it. The reason why I've, developed my music career to a point where I didn't think it would get is because you had cancer. And I just don't want to miss an opportunity because I'm scared of, of failure, or scared that it's not in line with what I want. You know what? I'm at a point where just say yes. Yep. What's the worst that can happen? Exactly. And if you don't like it, how are you going to know you don't like it unless you have the experience?
Exactly. And I feel like that's definitely just the whole point of it all, So with that, I have something I want to give you guys. Can you close your eyes, please?
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
All right, I'll be right back.
Close your eyes, make a wish. For tonight is just your night.
I love it. I thought you were going to sing "Close Your Eyes and I'll Kiss You." Tomorrow
What
I'll
song is
miss
this?
you. The Beatles wrote it.
Oh.
All My Loving.
Okay.
Okay.
Open. Random.
Oh.
Do I open?
Yes, you too.
Cute.
These are your flowers.
My goodness.
So
Look at that.
thank you for helping
Thank you so much.
me
That is
reclaim
just so
my
thoughtful.
voice.
Thank you.
And
What a surprise.
see
What a lovely
for
surprise.
all your
Oh.
amazing.
Aw.
I've got these because they are. Hang on, I don't know how much speech therapy cover I have in my health insurance to be able to say this, but chrysanthemums.
Oh God.
Chrysanthemums.
Chrysanthemums.
Yes.
I think I fucked it up too.
Chrysanthemums.
Crystal man. No.
Definitely not.
Thank you. You know what? Actually, they are. Thank you so much, Mary.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
So thoughtful.
Love you too, girl. You know that they're supposed to be chrysanthemums. See, you caught me. You caught me by surprise. They're actually the flowers that are supposed to be at your funeral, but fuck death.
Exactly. You have your flowers while you're here and whilst
Exactly.
you're alive. So with that, guys, it's been amazing. Thank you so much for coming
having
on
us.
and yes, reflecting with me on the ups, downs, middles of everything. And yes, these are your flowers while you're still here.
Thank you,
Just
Mary.
celebrating you.
Yay.
Woohoo.
This wasn't just a cancer story. It was Quinton's, it was Randa's, and it was a reminder that survival is never a solo act. Some people hold you through the worst seasons of your life and then stay long enough to laugh with you on the other side. If there's anything I hope you walk away today with is, don't wait to give the flowers when it's too late. Don't wait to say that someone means something to you to make amazing memories. Do it now while you're here. Sometimes the people who save us don't wear capes. They harass you to go for walks, cook you dinner, or sit quietly beside us when we remember how to breathe again. Now here's a song Quentin wrote during that season, back when words were too heavy to carry. It says everything you couldn't say at that time. Thank you, Quentin. Thank you, Randa. And thank you for listening to the story.
Running around in circles till I figure it out. Head gets stuck in a bottle more than a couple times. I'm keeping out of trouble. That's until I relax. Emotions be a hurdle. Can you relate to that? No thoughts, no will, no feeling inside. Am I alright? Although my heart's still beating inside, I don't feel alive. The end of the tunnel seems so dark. Someone waiting on the other side, holding my own hand so far, just trying to survive. Lately, I've been feeling empty. Can someone take the lead? Anybody? 'Cause lately, I've been feeling lonely. Crowded rooms feel deserted. Do you feel me? Hey God, I've been calling. Did you leave me on red? 'Cause you're holy ghosting. Hey Jesus, won't you take the wheel? 'Cause I've been trying to hit your DM. Maybe I've been hitting it too hard, self-medicated. Thought I could have joy inside the jar. I've been misguided. The end of the tunnel seems I'm not the only one. You've been Holy Ghosting. Oh, Jesus, how you doing? You look too drunk to